Welcome to the Miller Report, everybody. So last week, I went down to the Nova Museum at 35 Wall Street, and I was talking to a survivor of the Nova in Israel, and it was so traumatic. I was talking to this boy, this beautiful boy, and he was telling his story, and we're going to welcome Tomer Meir to the Miller Report. But before we do that, I want to tell you what happened to me that day. So I was listening to him talk, and it was so moving, and the whole exhibit is just, it's I can't even imagine what it must be really like to have been there, but just what they did and how they showed it at this exhibit was just insane. But I tried to leave the building, and all of a sudden, they wouldn't let me out of the building. The elevators were jammed, and the doors were locked, and they said you cannot get out of the building because there were too many protesters on the street, and it was for our safety. I couldn't get out. So I'm running around. What do I do? How do I get out of here? Thinking they're going to attack us. So they said, okay, one line at a time, 10 people at a time, you could leave the building. It took me about an hour to get out of the Nova building, and I finally got out, and I realized how safe and how important our freedom is here in the United States. And I was so thankful, and I left, and that was my story of that day. So we're going to hear from you about really being there and what that was like. So again, I want to welcome Tomer Meir to the Miller Report. Thank you for coming here today.
Thank you, Suzanne. You're talking about that day, and yeah, I gave my last testimony on the exhibit for you and for the group that you came with. It was a very powerful group, and I felt the connection with the group. It's happening a lot, but your group was, we had something special. The questions, I really liked what they asked. And
we had like 150 lawyers there. I was there with a lawyer group. I guess I'm a frustrated attorney.
It was very, the question was very, they know what to ask.
Yes, so, we do. So, Tomer, tell you, October 7th, you were at the Nova Festival, and I've heard your story, but I want our audience to hear. I know you survived that day, and many of your friends did not. So just describe to us about that day, and then I'm going to ask more specifics, but I want to hear from you. How was that day, and why were you there? Tell us what it was like.
So a few weeks before we started to organize our group of friends, that we actually went to the festival. For me, it was very special because it was my biggest music concert, music festival, however we want to call it. For me, it was like, in my head, it was like to go to the Burning Man. And we really prepared like it was the Burning Man. The camping area that we created, a crazy camping area for ourselves, and we brought food for to do like a dinner on Friday night together, all the friends. We brought schnitzels and challah, good rice, like mama's food, and it was very nice.
What time does it start?
So, because it was our first music festival, we came like one of the first groups that came. So we came something like 11:30, and yeah, we started to create.
It's supposed to stay through. What's it supposed to?
So it's supposed to finish something like Saturday afternoon.
Okay.
Something like that. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it didn't happen, and. Yeah, we brought everything to make the environment of our camping area the most like our place and our spot, and that to actually create a place that we can feel safe. I went to a few music festivals. It wasn't like that. Something in what the founders created on this event, and I only heard about it, and it was my first time, as I said, but they created a place that actually, like, I think I told that to your group, that I really felt that I can do, like, to dance however I want and to talk with everyone. People smiling to, like, all over the place. You can talk to everyone. The camping areas is, like, it's a big camping area, and, like, each group, they have their own camping place. So everyone is talking with each other and, right. Like, bringing to each other things and, like, whatever you want, coming, sitting, everything. It's like, I felt like I'm in a big, like 3,000 people of family.
So there were 3,000 people there.
I don't know the exactly number, but something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And
then what?
Sometimes when people asking me about Nova, I have a little smile because till 6:30, it was 6:29. It was the most beautiful moment in my life.
So then what happened? 6:30, what happens?
They turned off the music. We started to hear the red alert sirens. I didn't really understood in the beginning what's going on. And then we realized very fast that there's rockets on the border of Gaza and actually all over Israel. We could actually saw that flying.
So what were your first instincts?
Over our head. I did my service, so I know what to do in a situation like that. I was very shocked that it started, but not panicked or something. I was with one of my friends in the main stage, and we decided that it will be smarter to come back to the camping area, find our friends, and leave the area because you don't want to be in open field when there's rockets.
Did you see any rockets, or you just heard?
We saw the smoke. It's very close, yeah, and it's like we were 5 kilometers from the border, I think, something like that. It's nothing. Like you can do it in a...
So the music stops, you see flames, you see rockets, you go to your friends.
You hear the explosions and everything.
And you run to your friends to get out of the main field.
Yeah, I collected 3 of my friends that...
How many people did you go with?
We went a group of 14 friends.
40 friends?
14 friends.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what?
And I collected a group that came with me in the car. You know, we didn't heard nothing before about terrorists. It was like, it's only rockets. It's crazy to say that, but in Israel, it's only rockets. It's not something big. And I had a lot of responsibility because I was the driver. And
oh, wow, you were the driver.
Yeah, I took my friends into...
How many people were in your car?
4.
Okay.
Including me.
Just to back up a minute, I'm sorry, but before that, you were IDF soldier, right?
Yeah.
So you were on leave. What is your position now in the military during the time of Nova?
A combat medic.
I see.
Combat medic, yeah.
Okay.
So we got into the car, as I said, and we understood that something is not okay because Saturday morning, day off in Israel, border of Gaza, there's no one on the roads in that hour. No way to a traffic, 3,000 people trying to get out from the area of the parking, but it's not something that create that a mess, you know what I mean? It's not supposed to be like that. The friend that sat next to me is like he was on his phone and he tried to understand what's going on. I also, in the time that I had, looking up to see that rocket is not coming to us. But trying to do the same thing. And in that time, I decided that if we have the road, it will be smarter to try to go from the side of the road. It wasn't that smart because my car was very small. But I said, maybe it will be smarter. We can see more to understand what's really going on. Maybe to get out from the traffic and maybe understand why there is a traffic and maybe to help to release that. I don't know. Just trying to do something, to not be stuck in the same place. And I took the car from the side and I got up to the road again and it still was stuck. So I said to my friend, listen, I don't know what's really going on. And in the same time, we started to get some messages on our phone that there is something big on the south. They don't really know why and what. And, we were getting these messages and there's still red alert for 40 minutes now. It's a lot of time. And you ask yourself, what's going on here? Something weird. What's going on here? And we decided to leave the car on the road and to get into a tunnel down from the road that I found. It was for that it can, when there is a rain and you can follow water because you don't want the water to go on the road. So it was tunnel for that.
That's called a sewer.
Yeah.
You went into a sewer?
Yeah.
You and your friends?
Yeah. And I was kind of outside, to get to a place that is lower.
How did you know where the sewer was?
I just saw that.
Okay.
I just saw that. I looked for something safe.
Okay. Did you have a weapon on you?
No. You can't go with a weapon to a music festival.
So you went in the sewer with your friends, and then you got out, and then what?
We're still in the
Traffic.
tunnel. No, we're still in the tunnel. We left the car. And in that time, we started to hear fire. We called 2 more people to come into the tunnel. People came. We were something like, I think, 40 people in this area of, part of them inside of the tunnel.
Is there water in the tunnel?
No, it was Israel dry.
Okay.
It was very dry, but it wasn't a nice place to be in for a long time. Like part of the people inside, I was outside with Ben, my friend, and 2 of my friends inside of the tunnel. So we have kind of a distance between us. But I'm like, I feel safe right now because I have 2 friends that with more people in the tunnel. They know what to do. They will.
And you got out.
I'm very close to the tunnel, but I'm outside.
I see.
Like
You're like directing traffic.
It's 40 people in like a very small place. So if you have the tunnel, like it's not a big distance, but you can't talk with your friends that are there. We started to hear gunfire, very massive fire. And I asked myself if it's because we're very close to the border of Gaza and there's something between the army and Hamas right now on the border, or it's just actually fire that we can hear, because I recognize it was AK-47 and it wasn't our weapons, like our army weapons.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I recognize that.
So you knew. I don't want to interrupt you, but I think the audience should hear. We're going to hold that. You're in the tunnel, but your background was you were an IDF soldier doing what? You were a paratrooper? What was your position?
I was a paratrooper.
So how many years were you in the army?
I released after the Nova. I didn't finish my full service.
Oh, so you were supposed to be in the army. You were out that day? What was it, just like a day off?
So it was holiday vacation.
Wow. So you were in active duty, technically, but you were on holiday.
Not in that time, but a lot of my friends did.
Okay.
Not in that time.
So now you're in the tunnel. Go ahead.
Okay. We started to hear the gunfire.
You knew it wasn't Israel. You recognized because you had the experience.
I recognized that. And it got closer and closer, and the fire was actually on us. Everyone separated like ducks on a shoot range, just like everyone like kind of flying.
Your friends were flying?
No, like you know what I mean, like when you're on a shoot range of like ducks and they're flying all over the place. Yeah. So it felt something like that. It's a metaphor.
I understand.
And I got back to the road. Ben was with me. 2 of my friends are inside the like I don't know what's going on with them in that time. Thank God they survived, but we didn't know that, and we can't go back to them because there's fire on the area. So
how'd they survive?
It's a crazy story it's another full story.
Okay, all right. So anyway, you're out of the road.
Full story, yeah.
Okay. So now what?
We're going back to the road. Ben and I had the same idea to call to a police officer or something, and we found a police officer, and we told them, listen, they shouldn't have done what we need to do. Like what's going on? Very confused and panicked. And I remember he told us that we need to look forward, and there's a mess, and we need to see what's going on in front of our face. And then I felt like my eye was closed, and I opened them, and I saw that there's terrorists coming from another direction. In a second, it was like a war zone because people came from the other direction screaming that there's terrorists that coming from the other direction. We're trying to run to the field. A lot of people got like hurt there.
You watch people did you watch anybody get shot or hurt?
We saw a lot.
Any of your friends?
14 of my friends, and it's a crazy fact, they survived.
40 survived.
14 survived. Each of the groups have a very different story.
Any of them pass away?
No.
So none of your friends died?
They survived.
Every one of your 40 friends survived?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
But you watched other people die, obviously.
We saw a lot.
You saw a lot. Did you call your parents?
I had a kind of conversation with them before, and like after that, I didn't really have the time. Like I felt that I don't have the time to speak with them and to explain
poor
them
parents.
what's going on. Yeah. So we ran to the field. It's a war zone right now.
You have no weapon.
Gunfire everywhere on us, with a lot of people that running together, trying to find a way, and to like part of them. Yeah, I was a soldier. I kind of understood what's going on, but most of the people don't like what's going on. They ask what's going on, like running and don't know what's going on. And I'm also running and don't really understand what's going on, but I understood that I'm in there's
danger.
Yeah, there's danger to my life. So we ran in the field. We saw a jeep that make kind of like rounds to just release people only from the war zone area, kind of. He did like a very small distance, only to...
Who was this person?
I didn't know him in that day, but the craziest part of the Nova that after that everyone became to be kind of like a big family. So I met them, and they're in my age. And
they're
now,
Israeli?
Yeah. And now,
a Jewish Israeli or?
Yeah, Jewish Israeli. And now they're here. They're like our family. But they only moved us forward for a very small distance, and we had to run more after that. And in our running, we decided that, you have bullets flying. You don't want to continue to run. And it felt that now we need to stop and find place to hide and to prepare our next steps, because you can't continue to run like that.
Because where you're running, you can't get out.
It's just not smart. It didn't felt smart. Okay. So, we stayed over there, and then a guy came with his car. He saw us, and he kind of like took us with his car. He didn't have a really direction to run away, but it felt in that time maybe more safe to,
Wait, let's just take us one more time, Tomer. So now a Israeli driver takes you somewhat further away. Mm-hmm. You get out of that car. You hide someplace.
Continue to running, hiding.
And then you hide.
After we were hiding, I guess that the place that we hid was so bad that this guy just saw us and he was like, come.
So who was this guy?
He's also a survivor.
And also a survivor, another Jewish survivor.
Yeah.
So he takes you a little further.
Yeah, a little bit. We're trying.
Yeah. So you're in and out of cars.
Now in that time we're inside of the car, trying a lot of directions on the field. I felt very non-safe to just stop, so I asked them like, please just drive, no matter where, just drive, do something. It's easier to shoot you when you're staying in the same place. And we. It's crazy because they saved our life, but the groups of Bedouin Israelis, they're kind of Arabs.
What do you mean?
They collected people.
Well, you said this is now you're in the third car.
It's in the second car.
They dropped you off.
Yeah, it's the third car if you include my car that we left very earlier. So we're inside of the car trying to find direction to run away. Every direction that we're trying, it's or stuck, like you can't move, it's a field, or there's a massive fire, so you don't want to go there, and people are running from that direction, so you will not do it. And a group of Bedouin that just...
Describe what a Bedouin is.
Bedouin, it's like kind of Israeli Arabs that living on the part of the fields in Israel. They know the fields very well. They're living there. Shepherds, they know the place. And I don't really know who they were.
They found you in a field?
But they found us, and they collected some cars and they found a direction to go out from the war zone, and they actually saved our life.
So an Arab Christian?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It's just
Muslim? What is it?
Bedouin.
Bedouin. Okay, so is that a religion?
No. I think it's Muslim. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Well, we're gonna. So they took you out, and all of your friends, one by one, different cars.
No, the same car. They just forward the car to a safe place. They told us like listen, drive after us, and they just found the direction. I don't know how they did that.
Do you stay in touch with these people?
No.
So they just said, we're going to save your life.
Yeah.
See, humanity is humanity. A good person is a good person. It doesn't matter race, religion, color.
I'm always
This is just fantastic for everybody to hear. We're all one. And you came out and...
It's also a way to explain that, as I'm always saying, and I said for 2 months on the exhibit, there's no side to what happened on October 7. No side. There's side of humanity and side of inhumanity. And that's it. And... yeah, Arabs saved my life. You know, if you're looking about, like, they were Israelis, yes, but they are Arabs. And they saved my life and my friend's life. And that's all the explain that I need for me.
So what happened the days after, Tomer? So now you're out and you're shaken. I'm sure you saw a lot of horrifying things and people dying. But 40 of your friends stayed. No, none of your friends died, which is a miracle.
Yeah. So in the day, like during the day, we understood... you know, my friends, they part of them, they weren't in connection to understand if they're alive or not. And you're waiting for answer and you don't really know. And yeah, we understood that everyone survived. In that time, we started to get lists of people that died. I have close friends that
died.
Were in that list. And also not that close friends that were in that list.
Them.
Yeah, and from the army, from life, a lot of names, too much names, and yeah, I didn't sleep for like 2 or 3 days, trying to understand what happened to me, trying to make sense. There's no sense. I really tried.
Do you have any friends that are hostages right now?
No.
Did you see any hostages being taken?
They, for me. From that day, you know, they came to the same festival like me, and they are still not sleeping on their own places. They're sleeping on tunnels. So we had the same last good experience together, and now we're in such a different places, and not
what
because...
What do you mean they're sleeping in tunnels?
They kidnapped.
Oh,
they're holding them
your
on,
friend,
like...
yes.
I'm not talking about the friends. I'm talking about the
People
hostages
that, you know. Yes.
that also I don't know, but I'm saying they came and they have the same last good experience like me. And this is their last good memories from, you know, it's crazy. And yeah, for me, maybe I didn't know them before. For me, they're family because they, you know, that's crazy. We can accept that there's still hostages there that came for a music festival or kids or whatever, and they kidnapped because they were Jew. It's crazy. And also non-Jews kidnapped. It's crazy. And they came to celebrate their life, to dance, to meet their friends.
It's hard. I mean, I didn't sleep for days after as well. I think no matter what religion you are, it's humanity. I understand that. But you survived. And what did you do the weeks after? Did you go back to the army? What did you do after that? How did you start to heal?
I didn't come back.
And they let you leave?
I had a very nice commander that let me.
So how did you heal? What did you do after?
All the IDF in that time, they didn't approve me to come back, and they understood the situation that I'm into, and they try to give psychologists and to help. They also didn't know it was huge, and
did they help? Is it helping? I understand it's not over.
They did their best, I believe. I believe that they did their best. For me, it wasn't enough, but they did their best. I really believe in that.
How'd you end up here?
How'd
you end up in America and at the Nova and to talk about it? How did that happen?
So after that, I started a crazy process. A lot of volunteers from Israel, psychologists, and like people that know a very good treatments with trauma, afforded free, of course, their help, and I used everything that I could. I also tried to understanding myself what happened to me, and like I read a lot of researches about trauma and to get my mindset stronger, because you need strong mindset after that. And I did my best, and it's a crazy story because we had healing places, actually places that volunteers open to welcome all the survivors from the Nova, to collect them together, to give them treatments and
Wow.
place to be all the community together. Yeah, it's crazy, and it saved our life. It's actually to come back to life after that, because I forgot how to speak to people. Like I wasn't myself for a long, long time. And yeah, it's a crazy story because in one of the days that I went to one of the healing places, I met Yaniv. He's an amazing American Jew that came to Israel to just make people happier and to try to listen and just be there, people that like kind of the persons that you want to open your heart with. And I did it. It wasn't easy for me, and I shared my story, and my friends, we had a very strong connection with him. And in one of the days, he told me, listen, Tomer, I'm bringing a very special Jewish Americans group to Israel, in one of the healing places. I have you to be there because they have to meet you. And it happened. And I met Joe Teplow and Scooter Brown. They brought the exhibit to the US. The story is crazy because in the day after that, we went to the exhibit in Tel Aviv together, and Scooter decided to bring this amazing exhibit.
Have you been back to Nova in Israel?
Yeah, I did it.
What was that like?
Part of the process, it's to try to remember again things that your brain don't want to remember. And yeah, it was.
Well, I guess you're a survivor. You're certainly a survivor, and thank you for sharing that day. People have to know that this is, I feel for the survivors. I also feel for the soldiers and what they're seeing, 17, 18, 19-year-old boys. Boys, you're 21. Look, you're 21 years old. It's what you have to see. Let's talk about America. Let's talk about what's going on here. Being an American Jew, I feel it. And what are you seeing? What do you want to tell American Jews about the protesters and the anti-Semitism that's rising here in America? How do we feel safe? And what do you see here?
We didn't finish about the day that the protest came outside of the exhibit.
Okay.
So, they came. You were there. You saw the protest. It was very brutally and
yes,
unbelievable. But I came to. You remember the security didn't let us to go out, and I came to one of the security guard, half joke, but I was very serious, and I told him, listen, I don't care to stay for another testimony and take them through the exhibit to see what happened. And I'm standing for this opinion because, and I'm saying that also right now, the exhibit will be in other places in the US. I don't know really where and when, but they invited to see, and we are welcoming them. I think it's important to see the truth, and you went to the exhibit. There's only truth there. I'm sharing my experience, and the walls are talking.
So, Tomer, I want you to tell the audience, as an American Jew, you're not an American Jew, but talk to the American Jews about what you think they should do as with all this anti-Semitism for their safety.
So it's not easy time, I think, for Jews in all the world. I feel that in Israel we have a war going on in Israel, and here you see the protests, you see people, you're walking on the streets and people can say like dirty Jew for like, it's crazy. But I think that we need to believe, it's something that I heard from the guy that brought me here. He said it to me, and I really appreciate these words. Scooter said that each generation in the Jew generation will switch places with us, and we are in the best time to be Jews. And I really believe in that, because it's true. We had the Holocaust, and we had so many things like the Holocaust in our past. And only to create this interview and create places like the exhibit and to talk about what happened, and not afraid to talk about what happened, and to talk about the truth and not ignore and like to hide the fact that we're Jews. I think this is our win, and I think we're going to win with that. And it will take time, but we're going to see the results, and it will give us a very good profit in the future. I really believe in that.
What does winning mean?
For me, winning is understand. First of all, the first step to understand that what happened on October 7, it's only two sides, as I said, the side of humanity and inhumanity. And I was soldier, I'm an Israeli Jew, and I'm telling you that I don't want anyone include from the other side, Palestinian kids. I don't want anyone to have experience like I had, because there's no kid in this world that deserves that.
So what do you think the solution is?
I'm not focusing on.
I understand, but you live there.
I'm not focusing on a big.
So if you could draw it and you could say, I could get anything I want, you're genie in a bottle, what would you do?
If I can get
any result you want.
A peaceful place in the world for all the kids, no matter which religion, no matter from where, no matter Israeli, Saudi, Jordan, no matter what, America. And if I'm a genie, this is what I will do.
And how would you I want to know how you would accomplish that. Would you do a two-state solution? Would you get rid of every Hamas leader? Would you get rid of Netanyahu? I want you to map out for us as American Jews, being that you've been on the field, you're a survivor, you have first-hand experience, you've been in the army.
I will say that I love Israel, I love America, and that's the only things that I'm focusing on while I'm here. I don't care about big solutions. I don't think that as a 21 years old, I can bring right now big solutions. I came for 2 months on the exhibit and I did my best, really. And this is what I'm focusing on, to do my best day by day. And I don't.
How's the feeling in Israel right now? Is it upbeat? Is it sad? Is their economy okay? What's the feeling like in Israel right now?
So it's not easy.
It's not easy.
We still have hostages. I don't feel any non-safe feelings on Israel. We have a very strong and humanity army that I'm really believing. My friends are still there, and I know my friends, and I know the people that inside the army, and I believe that our army is doing its best to, first of all, to save the Israel people, and also not hurt any civilian people. And it's very important to me.
It's very bad PR right now. I wish that they would do a better job explaining what you just did, that they're doing their best to save the civilians. And I agree with that. And unfortunately...
War is bad. War is bad for all sides.
War is bad, yes. And what do you feel... Your dad has a construction company?
Mm-hmm.
How's that doing?
So it depends. You know, the companies in Israel, they're still working. Yeah, you have a big problem on the north and on the border of Gaza. The places that used to work there didn't came back to work yet, and it's a big problem. Thank God we're from the area of Tel Aviv, so it's not on my house, but I can feel that, and I'm also praying for these people to come back to work immediately and to have their own life without worries like that. And yeah,
you're fighting for Israel is fighting for democracy all over the world and for freedom for Jewish people. And my last question,
freedom for all the people.
I know. My last question to you, Tomer. So we have a big political year coming up in so many areas. Today we have Jewish leaders and we have people that are pro-Israel and against Israel. The word on the street, is it, do the people, your age, because I know you can't speak for everybody, your age, do they feel that Trump will be better for Israel or Biden? Be candid.
Wow, I don't know. I don't know.
How about yourself?
I don't know the map here to answer these questions. I can tell what I want, and I think I told that. I want a safe place to any kid in that world, and I don't care what's the name of the guy that will do it. I care that it will happen. I don't care about names. I care that it will happen, and immediately, because I don't want to open my TV like someone doing right now and to see a kid like me talking in 3 years from now and sharing how he went to a music festival and he almost killed.
Yep. Well, thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you.
This is very heartfelt. It's very brave of you to do this, and keep fighting the good fight. And thank you for protecting us all here.
Thank you very much.